As to confidential intelligence and confidential funds, we do not issue any audit reports, just the audit actions, Mr. Chair.
Audit action.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Now, when was the confidential fund in the amount of 125 million transferred to the office of the Vice President? According to reports, kayo po ay nag-confirm, maybe because of reports, na galing po sa office of the Vice President na the amount of 125 million confidential funds was spent in 11 days?
Mr. Chair, based on their liquidation reports, opo.
Hearing focus on the issue of confidential funds. Ano ba ang confidential fund na ito at bakit ito importante? Ano ang kinalaman nito sa accountability? Based on Joint 2015-01 of the COA, confidential funds are funds disbursed to, among others, national government agencies for their confidential expenses. On the other hand, confidential expenses are those relating to surveillance activities which support the operations of the agency. So sa madaling salita, ang confidential funds ay pera para sa mga operasyon ng pagbabantay at pagmamanman ukol sa mga aktibidad ng ahensya. While this may seem to be a very specific definition, we cannot help but notice that the joint circular provides very loose requirements for the release of confidential funds to agencies and also requires less specific information and documents in order to liquidate and account for. In Notice of Disallowance number 2024-002-100, the COA disallowed the amount of over 73 million pesos, representing almost 60% of the 125 million pesos in confidential funds. Pwede po ba yung slide? Paki-present. Almost 60% of the 125 million pesos in confidential funds allocated to the OVP in 2022. Equally significant is the fact that this amount was indicated to have been fully spent over the period of 11 days. Wala pang kalahating buwan, naubos na daw ang 125 million. Supposedly to fund surveillance of 132 areas. This amounts to 11 million pesos spent per day for these surveillance activities conducted over the holidays. Lumalabas po, mahigit 11 million po sa isang araw ang ginagastos po nila sa surveillance activities. Kasama na po dito ang Pasko. I note that while these numbers are already staggering, this is only a portion of what this committee is investigating and dealing with. In fiscal year 2023, the OVP received 500 million pesos in confidential funds. This includes the 125 million mentioned above, disbursed in 2022. In addition to this amount, spent in 11 days, the OVP was disbursed 125 million per quarter for the first 3 quarters of 2023. The entirety of which has been questioned by the COA through Audit Observation Memorandum o yung tinatawag po nating AOM. In other words, one of the 500 million we are talking about, only about 10% or 51 million has been definitively allowed by COA. Sa 500 million po, halos 10% lamang po ang pinayagan ng COA at sinabing walang problema. At ito po yung nagkakahalaga ng 51 million. When one goes deeper and looks at the liquidation reports for these disbursements, a disturbing pattern and similarity emerges with perfectly round numbers. Ni isang sentimo po ay walang butal. Being attributed to expenses such as medicine and food, paulit-ulit po at parang kinapi-paste ang liquidation ng confidential funds ng OVP. With this in mind, to all but the most biased observers, it should be very easy to see why this committee has chosen to investigate the possibility of gaps in the regulation of confidential funds, as it is possible that we have seen these gaps exploited before our very eyes. What we have seen regarding the usage by the OBP of its confidential funds certainly gives this committee and the country cause to want to find out the facts behind this. Ultimately, to fulfill this august body's mandate of crafting effective laws and legislations to protect our people's hard-earned money. This committee is understandably very alarmed at these reports implying misuse of public funds. In particular, because of the astronomical, almost unimaginable amount of money involved. I must stress at this point that the sheer vastness of these potentially misused funds sets this matter apart from other instances of irregularity and disallowance. These amounts easily surpass the threshold for the crime of plunder under our laws. It is incumbent upon us who are duty-bound to ensure that our legislation and regulations are effective enough to protect the money of the people, to investigate and get to the bottom of these glaring irregularities. As we begin today's hearing, I must make this clear. This committee is not about politics, not about attacks. It is not even about the release or approval of any budget, as some have implied. This investigation is not prompted by any motive other than a desire to make the numbers make sense. This committee and these proceedings are about accountability. We seek to learn the truth of how public money, ang pera ng taong bayan, is being used, whether or not our current laws, rules, and procedures are sufficient to ensure the security and safety of these funds. Maraming salamat po. At this juncture, the Chair would like to recognize the presence of the Honorable Congressman from 1st District of Manila, Congressman Ernesto Dionisio Jr., the Honorable Vice Chairperson Johnny Pimentel of 2nd District, Surigao del Norte, and the Honorable Amparo Maria Zamora of Taguig City, 2nd District. In the previous hearing, we have requested our witnesses, guests, and resource person to provide the committee with certain documents. I'm informed that the DepEd complied and sent an electronic copy of the bidding documents of the Department of Education, particularly those relating to its procurement activities for 2022 and August 31, 2024. The Bureau of Treasury likewise sent fidelity bond documents of the OBP and DepEd for calendar year 2022 to 2024, as well as designation of employees of both agencies who are appointed as special disbursing officers. The DBM has yet to comply with the request of the committee to furnish the committee a copy of the letter request of the OBP for the release of contingent fund and some request for PS and MOOE in 2022 during the implementation of the 2022 budget. Nandito po ba yung representative ng DBM?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair, we provide the committee of the letter.
Okay.
We're just having a clearance for the release of the document, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Maraming salamat po. Mag-out ba tayo? Pa-out muna natin. Out na muna. Out na muna tayo. Papa-out ko na muna.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Jay Suarez.
just some admin matters. I noticed there are new faces present with us today. Thank you for your attendance in today's hearings. However, insofar as this is a continuation of the hearing last week and there are new faces, can I just ask if our new guests have taken their oath?
Comsec.
Yes, Your Honors. Our new guests haven't taken their oath, Your Honor.
Oh, there are not. Okay, paki-take lang po ng oath yung mga hindi pa po nakakapag-oath. Pwede po tumayo po kayo. Comsec, paki-take po sila ng oath.
To all our new resource persons, witnesses, and guests who are present and invited today, kindly stand up and please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the statements you will give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Your Honor, the oath has been administered. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, since last hearing, yung mga representative po ng ibang departamento ay nakapagbigay na rin po ng kanilang mga statements. Yung mga hindi pa po, kagaya po ng DepEd at saka ng Bureau of Treasury, would you like to say something? May mga ready po ba kayong statement para gusto po ninyong sabihin dito sa committee?
Mr. Chair.
We will recognize you. Sino pong gusto magsimula? DepEd, from DepEd po.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Congressman Acop is recognized.
Thank you. May I know from the COMSEC if we have invited Attorney Zulaika Lopez, Attorney Limuel Ortonio, Madam Julieta Villa del Rey, Kevin Jerome Tenido, Attorney Rosalyn Sanchez, and Madam Gina F. Acosta. Have we invited them in the last hearing, Mr. Chair?
Comsec.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you for the recognition. We have not invited them in the previous hearing, particularly only Ms. Gina F. Acosta and Ms. Julieta Villa del Rey. However, the invitation sent to them dated September 20, 2024 included only, from the names mentioned by Congressman Acop, Rosalyn L. Sanchez and Ms. Gina F. Acosta and Ms. Julieta Villa del Rey. I was informed that they are not present today, Your Honor.
They're not present today,
Oh, Your Honor.
and they were sent invitations to attend this hearing.
Yes, actually, Your Honor, the content of the invitation was addressed to Vice President Duterte, stating that the committee formally invites the attendance of the following officials and employees of the Office of the Vice President, and thereafter a list of employees from the OVP amounting to 17 employees, Your Honor.
I move that since they were invited and did not appear in this hearing, may I move, Mr. Chair, that we issue a show cause order pursuant to our protocol to the people who were invited but did not come to attend this hearing. So move, Mr. Chair.
Seconded.
Your Honor,
Comsec.
may I please correct my previous statement? Attorney Lemuel Ortonio was also invited in the previous invitation dated for the hearing September 18. He was again invited in the September 2024 invitation.
Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Mr. Chairman, point of information or
Yes, Congressman Dan Fernandez.
this representation wasn't able to be present in the last hearing, and being a member of this committee, I just wanted to be informed of the situation wherein I was able to watch the some commotion of the members of the committee, and what I've learned is the problem of the rules that will govern this committee. Can I be clarified or be informed of what really rules that will govern our committee hearing?
Well, we will be guided by the rules of the House with respect to the inquiry in aid of legislation. Firstly,
Mr. Chair.
under the...
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Acop, you're recognized.
Since the good Honorable Fernandez was not present in the last hearing, for reasons I do not know, there was a question, Your Honor, that was raised in the hearing held on 18 September 2024, whether we would follow the rules of procedure governing proceedings in this committee. And there was also an issue raised that what we should follow should be the rules, the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. Kung matatandaan po ninyo, kung nanood po kayo, si Honorable Rodante Marcoleta questioned a provision of the committee rules, which allegedly we did not follow. Yun po yung dahilan. But if we look at the issue at hand, Mr. Chair, I prepared a manifestation regarding this issue para ma-satisfy o ma-clarify natin kung ano talaga dapat ang rules na masunod natin. May I be allowed to manifest, Mr. Chair?
Please continue, Congressman
Yeah.
Acop.
Considering that the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation was adopted subsequent to the rules of procedure governing proceedings before the Committee on Good Governance, this humble representation believes that it is the former that must govern and not the latter. This is the basic rule. Section 21, Article 6 of our Constitution states that inquiries in aid of legislation must be made in accordance with the duly published rules of procedure. I would like to repeat that, Mr. Chair. Duly published rules of procedure of Congress. In other words, the rules of procedure that this committee will follow are those rules of procedure that have been duly published in the official gazette. Following this constitutional mandate, Mr. Chair, this committee is mandated to follow the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation, which was approved by the plenary and published on 2 June 2023 in the official gazette. On the other hand, as to the internal rules of this committee, I understand that this has not been published. In this regard, the Supreme Court in Garciliano versus the House of Representatives Committee on Public Information, GR numbers 170338 and 179275 in the year 2008, emphasized that Congress cannot use unpublished rules of procedure in the conduct of its legislative inquiry. This is not to say that the adoption of the internal committee rules was wrong, as this provided guidance to the committee in the conduct of inquiries in aid of legislation, especially considering that at the time we adopted the internal rules, the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation has not yet been approved, adopted, or published. So, Mr. Chair, having said that, I think I have the duty to move and submit a motion for this committee to confirm, for clarity, that it is the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation which governs this proceeding, and not the committee rules, Mr. Chair. So move.
There's a motion to confirm.
Mr. Chairman, before
Yes.
we move on that matter, no, because this representation believes that the rules that will be governing our conduction of this committee is based on the rules that was approved by the plenary and was published in accordance with the provision of the Constitution under Article what? Article
6.
Article 6.
Yes.
Article 6.
So, for that matter, before we take action on this matter, can I be clarified on something that is very important, considering that I think the good gentleman from Antipolo have said that on August 2022, the rules of the good government and public accountability have adopted a rule that will govern them. And the House of Representatives on May 2023, as the good gentleman have mentioned, have adopted and published the said rules. Having said those element of time that transpired, no, from August 2022 to May 2023, and considering that the good government adopted that rules, what happened to the resolutions and privileged speeches that was delivered and was referred and undergone the procedure of preliminary determination by the committee and the order of preliminary determination that was conducted by the committee? Will it suffice to say that those hearings that were conducted must be stricken out of the committee records?
Congressman Acop.
Mr. Chair, for the benefit of the gentleman from Laguna, as I've stated in my manifestation, noong wala pa pong na-approve na House Rules on Inquiry, ang ginagamit po natin ay yung internal rules which was approved by the committee. Yun po. But when the House Rules governing legislative inquiry by Congress was approved, then it already superseded yung ating internal rules. That is the stand of this representation, Your Honor.
Thank you. And if I may add,
Okay,
Congressman.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you po. If I may add the manifestation of Congressman Acop, basahin po natin yung Section 18 ng ating internal rules dito po sa in aid of legislation. Sabi po dito, the committee tasked to conduct an inquiry may adopt internal rules of procedure. Ang ginamit pong word dito is may. So ibig pong sabihin dito, hindi po tayo obligado. Pwede po natin gamitin yung internal rules of procedure natin. Pero hindi po tayo obligado. So ano po ibig sabihin? Ang talagang obligado po talaga tayo dito ay ang gamitin natin ito pong House rules na pinasa po sa plenaryo at duly published. Dahil yun po, pag hindi po natin ginamit yun, yun po ay magiging inconsistent po sa ating saligang batas.
I think, Mr. Chairman, no, with that explanation from the good gentleman from Antipolo and the chairman, accordingly, if you're going to look at the section 34 ng rules natin, these rules that have been adopted by the committee must be also submitted to the plenary. And if it is been proven that it is inconsistent, with our own rules, it is devoid of constitutional requirement as mandated by the Constitution. And one point of information as well, Mr. Chairman, because I'm trying to look at it right now, that these rules that was adopted by the good government is somehow redundant, repetitive, and I think it is preposterous, considering that we have established under our own rules a committee on rules that establish the preliminary determination. We have 30 members on the committee on rules, and all the resolutions, all the privileged speeches that are being delivered on the plenary are being referred to the committee on rules. And one of the function of the committee of rules is to determine if there is a present of being referred to that specific committee. And in that case, Mr. Chairman, I believe that this presentation believes that making a rule that is inconsistent with the rules that is being adopted by the plenary is somehow well, it's not abusive, it's not arbitrary, but somehow will have this House of Representatives spend so much effort, time, and resources for that matter. Kaya I think, Mr. Chairman, I submit to the position of this body, especially of Chairman Acop and the chairman of this committee. Maraming salamat po sa impormasyon.
Thank you po. We will now rule on the pending motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I second
Congressman.
the motion of the Honorable Ako.
Okay, is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. We will now confirm that it is the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation that will govern in these proceedings. Okay, settled na po yan. We will now proceed to the interpellation proper. But before we proceed, this humble representation is in receipt of a letter dated September 23, 2024 from the Office of the Vice President, which was signed by the Honorable Vice President Zara Z. Duterte. This letter was received on September 25. This is duly noted. We will now proceed to the interpellation proper. The first to interpolate, meron na po pala akong list dito kung sino pa po ang gustong magpalista. Lumapit lang po sa COMSEC para po sa ating para maging maayos po yung ating interpellation. We will proceed first to the Honorable Congressman Acop.
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes, Congressman Robert Barbers, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, consistent with the motion that was approved by the House, by the committee, which states that the rules that the committee will adopt will be the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation as adopted by the plenary.
Yes.
And
And
consistent
duly published.
and duly published, yes. And consistent with that motion, Mr. Chair, during the last hearing, there was a question raised by a non-member in the person of Honorable colleague Congressman Dante Marcoleta. And as I understand, non-members of the committee may not make any motions in the committee, in the proceedings. And while the jurisdictional issue was raised via a manifestation by Representative Marcoleta, it was a motion which ended with a request that this committee terminate its proceedings. May I know the action of the committee, Mr. Chair?
It was denied, considering that Congressman Marcoleta is not a member of this committee, hence he cannot raise a motion.
So therefore, the motion of Congressman Marcoleta
Out of order.
is ruled out of order.
Yes.
So was there any motion for reconsideration on that particular
Wala po.
decision?
Wala po, dahil hindi naman po siya member eh.
Okay.
In the first place, wala po siyang locus standi to present a motion.
So it is clear that a non-member of the committee may not or cannot make any motion
And he cannot even vote.
and he cannot even vote.
Tama po.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Congressman Dan
another
Fernandez.
point of
Clarification.
information also. May we remind all the members of the House of Representatives to also adhere with the clarification that was entered by Chairman Barbers to remind our members of the House of Representatives, that are not member of any committee to submit themselves to the plenary approval prior to the being a member of any specific committee, because all of the members of this committee and I myself, if I wanted to be a member of any specific committee, I ask the permission of the plenary, and with that we can avoid some confusion and debate in the committee itself, and that entails time element. Kasi aside from disturb po yung discussion, is entails also the intention of delaying the investigation that every committee are conducting. With that, Mr. Chairman, I hope that it's a clarification to all the members of the 19th Congress. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair, just a parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, Congressman Barbers.
May I know if Congressman Fernandez and myself is a member of the committee?
Yes, you are both members.
Maraming salamat.
Mr. Chairman, I applied and I put myself in the plenary. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And besides, the committee already ruled with respect to the jurisdiction, and yung pong statement po ni Congressman Marcoleta is moot and academic na po dahil po nag-take na po tayo ng jurisdiction. Is there any concern?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, we will now. Are we going to proceed with the interpellation, or this is a...
No, I would just like to make a comment on the...
yes, please proceed, Congressman Acop.
Yes. Now, since the rule read by the Honorable Barbers stated that non-members of this committee may not make any motions, and we had a non-member state a motion, the question is, what should we do with the motion? I said, it's out of order. Now, are we not supposed to move to strike it out of the minutes, Mr. Chair?
Is there any motion? Do I hear a motion?
I think it is incumbent upon us to have a motion to strike it out from the records of this committee, because this will take a bad precedent, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So I move that we strike out the motion that was delivered and manifested by Congressman Marcoleta.
Is there any second to the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. We will now proceed to the interpellation. Congressman Acop will be the first interpellator. Please proceed, Congressman Acop.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Most of the questions that my staff has prepared would concern Madam Gina F. Acosta, the Special Disbursing Officer of the Office of the Vice President. I think she is not present today. Is she? Comsec? Present ba si Madam Gina Acosta? Kasi siya ang supposedly the Special Disbursing Officer.
No, Your Honor.
She is not present. So, Mr. Chair, my questions would wait for the time that Madam Gina F. Acosta would be present in the next hearing. But I would just like to ask some questions from COA, if they're present this morning. Thank you. Kailan po nyo inirelease yung COA audit report nyo regarding the office of the OVP regarding the use of the amount of 125 million under line item confidential expenses? Kailan po nyo na-release yung COA report nyo?
Sino po ang sasagot? Attorney, sorry, hindi ko po makita yung pangalan. Attorney Camora from COA. Please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. As to confidential intelligence and confidential funds, we do not issue any audit reports, just the audit actions, Mr. Chair.
Audit action.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Now, when was the confidential fund in the amount of 125 million transferred to the office of the Vice President?
Sino po sasagot?
It was in December.
Attorney Camora?
December.
Mr. Chair, may I be clarified? The cash advance, Mr. Chair?
Yes. When was the fund, the 125 million amount, transferred to the office of the Vice President?
Mr. Chair, the fund was received on December 20,
2022.
2022, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Thank you. Now, on 25 September 2023, according to reports, kayo po ay nag-confirm, maybe because of reports, na galing po sa Office of the Vice President, na the amount of 125 million confidential funds was spent in 11 days.
Mr. Chair, based on their liquidation reports, opo.
Kayo po ang nagsabi nito in your report.
Wala pong report, Mr. Chair, but audit action po.
Oh, it's an audit action. At
Yes,
kinukonfirm
Mr.
nyo
Chair.
na yung amount na 125 million was spent by the Office of the Vice President in 11 days. And that would be amounting to 11.3 thereabouts million per day. Would that be correct? Tama po ba yun?
Mr. Chair, may I ask for the question to be repeated?
Ano po? Uulitin ko po.
Opo.
Kayo po nagko-confirm na in-spend in your liquidation in the liquidation report that was submitted to you, kayo po nag-confirm na in 11 days naubos po yung 125 million confidential funds. Tama po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And that is equivalent to spending 11.3 million a day if it was spent, or if the amount was spent in 11 days. Tama po rin po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair, based on
Yes.
their documents po.
And yung 11 days na yon ay nung panahon na from 21 to 31 ng December 2022. Would that also be correct? O tama po ba yun?
Based on their accomplishment report, tama po, Mr. Chair.
And that is at the height of the holiday season, matatapos na po yung taon, di po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
At lahat po ng ahensya ng gobyerno nagmamadali na ma-spend yung kanilang pera na nasa kanilang opisina. Di po ba? Kasi ang nangyayari po, hindi ba, kung minsan, December 31, pinapaspasan po ng mga opisina ng gobyerno ang pag-liquidate po ng mga pondo na nasa kanila. Hindi po ba tama yun? Alam ko po yun dahil naging controller po ako ng Philippine National Police noong Chief PNP si Senator Lacson at yun ang nangyayari eh. Kayo po ang sasagot, hindi na po siya.
That's correct po, Your Honor.
Yes.
Paki-address niyo po yung chair sa... Antakantayin niyo po na-recognize kayo. You are Miss Sofia Gemora?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please continue.
Kasi minamadali po nila ng mga ehensya dahil if you notice, yung buwan ng Disyembre, normally it has four non-working holidays. So, 4 na ang nabawas sa 11 days para gastusin mo. Tama rin po ba?
If I may add, Your Honor, to what Attorney Camora had said earlier, with regards to the 11 days report of our audit team, we are the audit team of the Office of the Vice President. So, looking at the records or the recording in the financial statements, we found out that the cash advance was drawn on December 20, 2022. And on December 31, looking at the financial statements, there was an expenditures recorded of the same amount, the 125 million. So that was the reason why we, of course, it's correct to say that that was the 125 million was expended in 11 days, Your Honor.
Thank you, Madam. Now, because of this, the COA issued a notice of disallowance dated 8 August 2024 this allowing the amount of 73,287,000 from the 125 million confidential funds disbursed by the Office of the Vice President in 2022. Tama rin po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, may I know kung ano po yung mga dahilan po ninyo bakit nag-issue po kayo ng Notice of Disallowance doon po sa expenditure on confidential funds by the Office of the Vice President? Pwede po bang malaman yung rason po ninyo?
Attorney Gamora.
Mr. Chair, our reasons were indicated po at the ND. I'd like to make a rundown po. Yung may issue po sa payment of rewards nila, may issue sa payment of charging payment for tables, chairs, desktop computers, and printers to the confidential fund, and also a non-submission of the revised accomplishment report, Mr. Chair.
Yun po yung official reason why you COA issued a Notice of Disallowance. Tama rin po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, may I ask, meron po siguro kayong breakdown ng expenditure of the confidential funds. Meron po ba kayo?
Mr. Chair, meron po sa accomplishment report.
Yes, and yung breakdown po ng expenditure ng 125 million, nasa inyo po sigurado yun. Tama rin po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, may I know kung saan po nagastos ng Office of the Vice President yung 125 million? Was it spent in accordance with the rules, regulations, and protocol on the expenditure or on the use of confidential funds? Nasunod po ba yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As indicated sa accomplishment report po, na-liquidate naman po nila based on confidential expenses as required by the joint circular po, Mr. Chair.
If I may, alam naman po ninyo yung section 4.8 of Joint Circular number 2015-01
Yes,
on
Mr.
the
Chair.
use of confidential funds.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Now, categorically, yung po bang items na kung saan ginamit yung confidential funds ay naaayon po dito sa circular na ito?
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Kung naaayon sa circular na ito, bakit kayo nag-issue ng notice of disallowance?
Mr. Chair, as to yung first finding, meron po kasing specific requirement ang joint circular na document na hindi po nila na-submit or nag-submit sila pero hindi po sufficient siya to answer the requirement of the joint circular, Mr. Chair.
Na-mention kanina ni Chairman, the Honorable Joel Chua, na in the accomplishment report of the President, if I remember it right, meron pong ginamit na, yung surveillance in 132 places. Tama ba ba, Mr. Chair? Yung
Areas po yun.
narinig ko na yun.
132 areas po.
Yes.
Yung 125 million, parang ginamit po yan in 132 areas.
Yes, and accordingly, it was 100% compliance. Hindi po ba sa tingin ng COA, medyo kwan ito? Medyo imposible?
Mr. Chair, parang based on other parang okay lang naman po siya.
Kami po ay gumagamit din po ng intelligence fund. Ay nanggaling po ako sa service At alam ko na mahirap gawin ito. I will conduct surveillance in 132 areas in 11 days. Tapos kayo ngayon sa COA, sinasabi ninyo na posible pala ito. Samantalang kami on the ground na gumagawa nito noong ako'y nasa serbisyo, nahihirapan po kami. So, what is your basis na pwedeng sabihin na posible ito, Madam COA?
Mr. Chair, there are also deficiencies here.
No, tinatanong ko lang po kayo kasi sa mata po ng COA, yung mag-conduct ka ng surveillance activities in 132 areas in 11 days, para sa amin po na gumagawa nito in our use of intelligence funds na ako po yung nasa servisyo, nahihirapan po kami Tapos sa mata pala ninyo, posibleng-posible pala ito. Tama po ba yung aking kaisipan?
Mr. Chair, ang identified lang po ay number of areas, pero pwede din pong i-consider yung kung ilan po yung kung ilang tao po yung pinag-spendan ng funds, Mr. Chair.
But the liquidation report does not say so.
Yes, Mr. Chair. But,
In-assume na lang ninyo yun eh.
Mr. Chair, meron po silang submitted na mga documentary evidence.
Okay. Mr. Chair, those would be the questions that I would ask, I have asked from COA. Yun po yung aking nihanda. The others would pertain to Madam Gina F. Acosta. So, marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to interpolate. Thank you.
Thank you po, Congressman Angkop. The next interpellator is the Honorable Congressman Rolando Valeriano.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair? Quick question.
Congressman Ortega, with the indulgence of Congressman Valeriano, the Chair would like to recognize Congressman Ortega.
Mr. Chair, I've noticed that there are some employees and from the Office of the Vice President who are here. Are we gonna sit them as resource person, or they just going to sit around the hall, Mr. Chair?
I was informed a while ago that the spokesman of the Vice Mayor is Vice President is representing the DepEd, not the Office of the Vice President. But I was told by the COMSEC that a while ago, the OBP Chief of Staff, Attorney Solueta Lopez, supposedly is present today, but could not be located as of now. May I know if Attorney Solueta Lopez is here inside the Zulaika. Sorry. If Attorney Zulaika Lopez is present in this
Mr.
hearing?
Chairman, I think Yusek Powa is the spokesperson of the Vice President. Maybe he can answer on your query, considering that he knows all about the OBP.
Yes, would you like to please join us?
Mr. Chairman, good morning.
Yes,
morning to members
morning,
of the
Yusek
committee.
Powa.
I have not seen Yusek Zulaika since I arrived this morning. And to be very honest with you, I do not know if she was even here today. But I don't think she's with us at the moment. For the OBP matters, let me just manifest, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, that I only joined OBP po kasi itong August.
Okay.
So, and only as a spokesperson, I am only a consultant in the Office of the Vice President as her spokesperson. So, sa totoo lang po, I will not be competent to answer any questions as regards yung operations pa po talaga ng OBP sa at this point, Your Honors.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes,
may,
Congressman
was he
Fernandez.
not given authority to answer some queries from this committee?
Do you have any authority from
Mr.
the
Chair,
Office of the Vice
I-
President?
Mr. Chair, I was not given po any authority today. I am appearing today because part of the invitations given to the DepEd family also included my name. So that is the only reason why I decided to appear po today before you.
Okay. Okay po ba sa inyo yan? Okay, we will now proceed to the... But before I recognize Congressman Valeriano, the Chair would like to recognize the presence of Honorable Clarice Ann Hernandez of the Long District of Calamba City. Good morning po, ma'am.
Congressman Kit Flores.
And Congressman Kit Flores. Yes, morning po. Congressman Valeriano, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a bit background lang po. Last August 13, 2024, yung House Committee on Appropriation issue a subpoena duces tecum requiring the COA to submit dito po sa amin sa House Committee ng audit report on the confidential fund ng OBP and the DepEd for the years 2022 and 2023. Pero after nun, a letter dated August 21 or 6 days before the House Committee on APRO was scheduled to hear, the OBP, through its Undersecretary and Chief of Staff, Attorney Lopez, advised COA against complying with the subpoena duces tecum. So, yung katanungan ko po sa COA, Commission on Audit, kay Ms. Martha Rosat, ma'am, wala po yata si Honorable Cordova?
He's not.
Okay, sa inyo na lang po, ma'am. Kung maalala niyo po, meron pong subpoena duces tecum requiring the COA to submit to the House Committee in regards to sa report ng confidential pa ng OBP and the DepEd for the year 2022 and 2023. Tama po?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair,
Please wait
Your
to be
Honor.
recognized. Ms. Marta Roxanne Sese, you are recognized.
Yes. Mr. Chair, Your Honor, may I request for a repetition of the question, please?
Nakatanggap po kayo ng subpoena duces tecum requiring the COA, kayo po, to submit to the House Committee the audit report on the confidential fund ng OBP and the DepEd para sa taong 2022 and 2023. Tama po? Yung letter po is dated August, I think 13, 2024. August 21. Tama.
Your Honor, may I please refer first to the legal services sector representative because I am not privy to that very document.
May you know who will answer? Attorney Camora, please answer.
Yes, Mr. Chair, nakatanggap po kami ng subpoena.
Yan. Yung August 21, 2024, you received a letter from the OBP directly to Chairperson Cordova. And it was personal. Ang sinasabi po ron, kung maalala nyo, pinipigilan ang COA na mag-release ng details. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Sino po ang nag-receive ng letter?
Mr. Chair, sa Office of the Chairperson po.
Sa Office of the Chair. Binigay po ba, anyway, wala si Chairman pero baka kaya niya pong sagutin. Binigay po ba kaagad ito personally kay Chairman Cordova or dinaan pa sa kanyang mga staff?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko po alam kung kailan nabigay kay Chairperson, pero na-receive po ng ICFAO ng office namin, and then we elevated po the matter to the Chairperson.
Yes. Ano po ang naging aksyon ng COA in regards to that letter?
We complied with the subpoena duces tecum, Mr. Chair.
So, ang discretion po kung lawful at reasonable ang pag-comply sa mga subpoena or kung lawful excuse not to comply ay tanging tama po, nasa inyo, nasa COA lang.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, pong COA rules.
Yeah, at bilang constitutional independent body, hindi po maaring diktahan basta-basta ang COA, tama po?
Being an independent body, tama po, Mr. Chair.
Lalo na po kung ito ay in relation to the constitutional duties ng COA gaya ng pag-audit sa ahensya ng kahit anong government agency. Tama po?
Tama naman po, Mr. Chair.
Under the presumption of regularity, ang COA ay kailangan mag-comply sa mga subpoena. As a matter of course, tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So, did the COA reply?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We replied to the subpoena duces tecum.
Okay. Nagkaroon po ba ng exchange of correspondence na sagutan yung OBP tsaka yung COA in regards po doon sa request nila?
Mr. Chair, parang wala na pong response po.
So, sinunod nyo po ba yung directive ng OBP not to comply with the subpoena?
Mr. Chair, yung hindi po. Ang nag-comply po kami is yung sa subpoena duces.
So, ang COA po ay sumunod sa subpoena because they agree that Congress does have the power to subpoena these documents. Correct?
Mr. Chair, our rules also allows us to comply to subpoena duces tecum and other lawful orders po.
Yes. Ang COA ay sumunod sa subpoena dahil ito ay in-issue batay sa power to conduct legislative inquiries ng Congress. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And COA likewise agrees that the audit of the confidential funds, which are government funds, are matters of public concern. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Tama.
In terms of audit po, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair, tama po.
And the public has the right to know paano po ginagastos ang pera ng bayan. Di po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And likewise, ang Kongreso ay may obligasyon. Kami po dito na siguruhin ang pera ng bayan ay ginagastos po sa tamang paraan. Tama po?
We submit po sa ano po.
And when the COA complied with the subpoena, ano po ba yung response ng OBP, ng Office of the Vice President? Did the OBP reach out to COA again?
Mr. Chair, wala pa kong alam na nagbigay po sila ng further requests or
Or letter?
Letters.
Nagpadala ba sila ng communication again? Hindi na po?
wala na po, Mr. Chair.
Were other attempts made by the OBP to force or compel COA not to comply with the subpoena, even a phone call or what?
Wala naman po. I'm not aware of any letter or any communication po.
Okay. Thank you, Madam. Sa OBP po, meron bang pwedeng sumagot? Wala talaga si Atty. Lopez? Comsec, how about Atty. Lemuel G. Ortonio? Andito po.
Negative as well, Your Honor.
Again?
Mr. Chair,
Wala po.
with the indulgence of
Congressman
the
Acop, you're
Honorable
recognized.
Valeriano, before we leave the issue on the subpoena duces tecum, Your
With the
Honor.
indulgence of Honorable. Please proceed, Congressman Acop.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I know if we have required the submission of the letter of the Office of the Vice President through Undersecretary and Chief of Staff Lopez to the COA? Did we require COA to submit a copy of that letter to the committee?
Mr. Chair, wala po yata kaming.
Attorney Camora, before you answer, please wait to be recognized. May I recognize the COMSEC?
Your Honor, thank you. Wala po, Your Honor. However, in the previous meeting, I was directed to write a letter to the Committee on Appropriations Chairperson to request for the documents submitted to them through the subpoena duces tecum filed or issued by the Committee on Appropriations, Your Honor.
No. May I move, Mr. Chair, that COA submits to us a copy of the letter of the Office of the Vice President through Undersecretary Lopez?
There's a motion by the Honorable Acop to require COA to submit the letter of the Honorable Vice President
Through Undersecretary Lopez.
Undersecretary Lopez. Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Mr.
you,
Chair,
Mr.
with the
Chair.
permission of Congressman Acop, we have some representatives from the Office of the Vice President available. Baka meron po kayong kopya ng sulat na yon. At kung may kopya po sila at dala-dala po nila, baka pwede maibigay na po nila ngayon yung sulat. Mr. Chair?
Sino pong representative ng OVP ang nandito po? Wala po yata.
Mr. Chair?
Sino yan?
Si Sibilya, di ba?
Please identify yourself, please.
Wait.
Sino po?
Mr. Chair, point of order lang, no? Earlier
What is
there
the
were,
point of order?
Yeah, earlier there were representatives from the OVP. May I ask where they are now?
Your Honor, may I be recognized, Your Honor?
Yes, COMSEC, you're recognized.
They were located at the corner of the room earlier, Your Honor. Some of the representatives were there. They did not give the committee secretary their names, but they were there and now they are not here, Your Honor.
Are you referring to Attorney Zuleika Lopez?
For clarification, Your Honor, there was an error in recognition of Attorney Zuleika. The observation of Kong Acop is valid. Wala po talaga siya. Hindi po umatin.
Wala talaga.
Mga security po yata kanina yung dumating, Your Honor.
Okay, security lang po.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sino po yun?
Mr. Chair? Congressman Singh, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Swansing.
Mr. Chair, with regard to the letter being discussed at the moment, I also asked to confirm with Representative Luistro, this said letter was already requested and brought up during the second hearing for the OVP budget deliberations. And this letter was already furnished to us during that committee hearing.
So
And,
we are already in receipt of the letter.
yes, Mr. Chair, I'll defer to Representative Luis Shaw because during the hearing itself, the representative from COA turned over that letter to Representative Luis Shaw.
Yes, Congressman Luistro, you are recognized by the chair.
Mr. Chair, I confirm the manifestation of the Honorable Swansing that during the budget briefing of the OVP, we requested the COA to submit to the Committee on Appropriations, the copy of the letter of the OVP opposing the subpoena duces tecum issued by the Committee on Appropriations. So may we inquire from the COMSEC if we can get in touch with the Committee on APRO so we can be provided a copy of this letter opposing the subpoena, Mr. Chair.
COMSEC, please take note of the manifestation of Congresswoman Luistro. Congressman Dan Fernandez, you are
Yes,
recognized.
just wanted to be clarified on the submission of that letter that was given to Honorable Jinky Luistro. Can I be informed who signed that letter?
It is a certain Attorney Solaika,
Attorney
Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President.
Chief of Staff of OBP.
Have we invite Attorney Solaita?
COMSEC? COMSEC, did we invite Attorney Solaika?
Have we invited?
Did we
Yes.
send an invitation? Yes.
Yes.
And
Unfortunately, Attorney Zulaika Lopez is not
How many times
present.
did we invite Attorney Solaita?
She was invited in the September 18 hearing, Your Honor, and today as well, Your Honor.
So 2 times already. But
We,
in both
issued
occasions, she did not appear.
Yes,
We
Your Honor.
issued, Mr. Chairman, a show cause order.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's a motion already. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congresswoman
I
Luistro.
just wish to manifest the three important arguments that were raised in the said letter. First is we allegedly violated the separation of power. Second, we violated the due process. And third, we violated the confidential nature of the fund, which during the briefing of the budget briefing of the Office of the Vice President, we amply addressed already, Mr. Chair.
Nagmanifest lang, di ba?
Mr. Chair, while we are waiting for the copy of that letter from the Committee on APRO, I shared the three arguments which were raised in the said letter. First is the separation of power rule. Second is the due process. And third is the confidential nature of the fund. During the budget briefing, Mr. Chair, we amply addressed already these three issues.
Okay, duly noted, Congresswoman Luistro.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, please continue your interpellation, Congressman Valeriano.
Ang problem po, yung kasunod ko sanang tanong in regards doon sa letter na ginawa ni Atty. Lopez ay sa OBP na or any representative from the Office of the Vice President, pero wala po sila kahit isa, Mr. Chair. So, tinatapos ko na po yung pagtatanong ko. At meron na po bang representative from the OBP?
May I be recognized?
Wala pa rin po, Comsec.
May I be recognized, Your Honor?
Yes, Comsec,
I
you're
was
recognized.
informed by the registration that there was one representative who signed in the registration. Her name is Marie Cristel Axalan, while the rest did not register, Your Honor. And they are not here anymore. Marie Cristel Axalan signed the registration, Your Honor.
She signed in the registration,
Yes.
but she is not physically present.
She was here a while ago.
She was here.
Some of them were here a while ago, and now they cannot be located, Your Honor.
Okay.
So with that, Mr. Chair, tineterminate ko na po yung ibang katanungan ko at antayin ko na lang po sa susunod na hearing pagka dumating na po yung Office of the Vice President. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Mr.
Yes,
Chair, can I just,
Congressman, Deputy Speaker Jay Suarez, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of our next interpellator, I just want to go back dito sa COA natin. Attorney Camora, opo, nabanggit niyo po kanina na nakapag-submit po ng documents tungkol po doon sa liquidation ng 125 million in 11 days, no?
Attorney Camora.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Can you please submit to the committee the documents that were submitted?
Mr. Chair, since it was already subpoenaed by the Committee on Appropriations, we can only comply through subpoena din po.
Okay.
It was subpoenaed by the Committee on Appropriation.
Yes, Mr.
So
Chair.
nasa Committee on Appropriation po yung documents, tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Maybe we can ask the COMSEC to request for a copy of the said documents.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, that was the next motion that I was gonna push forward, is that we request a copy of the documents that were transmitted to the Committee on Appropriations, just so that we can go through these documents. No? Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Of course, and of course, it should also include the 32 areas, no?
Yes. Did you submit the list of the 32 areas covered by the period of December 21 to December 31, 2022?
Mr. Chair, we can provide the copies to the committee upon issuance of subpoena din po.
Upon the issuance of subpoena? Do sa stay home. Do I hear a motion for the issuance?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion to issue a subpoena do sa stay home with respect to the 32 areas covered covering December 21 to December 31, 2022 with respect to the 125 million confidential fund. Is there any second to the motion?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing that the motion is carried. Yes,
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Luistro, you're recognized.
I wish to go back to the letter opposing the subpoena issued by the Congress. specifically the Committee on Appropriations, Mr. Chair. I wish to manifest that the letter is dated August 21, 2024. So I humbly submit that during this time, Attorney Powa is already connected with the Office of the Vice President, and I wish to believe that he can enlighten us with respect to the questions to be propounded by the Honorable Valeriano, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Powa, would you please join us?
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
may I be
Attorney Powa.
recognized? Yes. I confirm the statement made by the Honorable Congresswoman that I was already, in fact, the spokesperson at the time, August 21, I believe. However, Mr. Chair, I really do not have the competence because I am not an employee of the OVP. I was only engaged to be the spokesperson at that point. And so I was not part of the drafting of such letter and was not part of anything with that letter. But if there's anything that I can contribute, then I will be willing to do so, Mr. Chair.
Would you like to proceed,
Mr.
Congressman?
Chairman, opo, baka...
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of
Yes,
Representative
Congressman
Valeriano.
Anika Sonsing.
Very quickly lang po. May I ask Mr. Chair a clarificatory question on the motion a while ago? How many areas po yung covered nung sa Pinaduces Tecom?
132 areas.
Okay. Yun lang, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to clarify because I heard 32 po. So we just wanted to make sure 132 is correct. That's correct, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much po.
Thank you. Just to be clear, the motion was duly approved with respect to 132 areas. Okay po ba, Powa?
Mr.
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
Attorney
Again,
Powa.
my apologies. But again, I just have to at least state for the record, Your Honors, that the Vice President really did not authorize me to represent her or the OVP in this proceeding po. I really am here because I was part of the invitees doon po sa DepEd invite na pinadala po.
So with that, Mr. Chair, hindi rin niya pwedeng sagutin yung mga tanong ko in regards to the OVP, to the Office of the Vice President.
Opo. Mr. Chair,
Yes, please continue.
gustuhin ko man po kasi hindi po talaga ako authorized. So I'm afraid whatever I say might also be questioned later on, Your Honors.
Okay.
Hindi talaga po ako inauthorize ng Vice Presidente natin eh.
Okay, thank you po. We will now proceed to the next interpellator, the Honorable Dan Fernandez. Yes.
Wala naman po ako masyadong tanong, Mr. Chairman. Medyo nakaka-worry lang po talaga itong 125 million for 11 days. For the information of everybody, I became the mayor of Santa Rosa, and yung confidential fund ko is like 7 million per quarter. And it's really hard for me to use, to utilize that amount for 3 months. And this amount is so huge that needs to be investigated rightly. Dito po sa Mr. Chairman, you have presented something, and I tried to secure the documents that you have presented a while ago. So I'll be dwelling on this information that you have given this committee. I hope that the COA have the liberty to say something on this disallowed portion of that 125 million, and that was issued by COA, no? Yung 73 million. Doon po ba sa purchase of information, lumalabas po dito that 14 million is the purchase of information, and this was spent for 11 days. So basically, it is 1.2 million per day for the purchase of information. What do you mean by purchase of information? Can you kindly explain to us what is a purchase of information? Mr. Chairman.
Sino pong sasagot? Attorney Camora, please answer.
Mr. Chair, based po on the joint circular regarding the guidelines on confidential funds, purchase of information pertains to those information necessary for the formulation and implementation of program activities and projects relevant to the national security and peace and order.
And with the submission of the Office of the President, or Office of the Vice President, regarding to this 14 million that was submitted by them, you deem it right to disallow the 14 million
Mr. Chair, 14 million purchase
of
purchase
information.
of information. It's not part of the notice of disallowance, Mr. Chair.
The 14 million is not part of the 73 million?
It was allowed po in audit, Mr. Chair.
The purchase of information was allowed?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The only
14 million for the purchase of information, you allowed it?
yes, Mr. Chair.
And your basis is what?
Their documentary evidence of payment.
What are the documentary evidence that was submitted to you, if you have the liberty to say it to us?
Mr. Chair, since it's already on the merits of the case, since it's already touching on the merits of the case, and we can only comment on those that we have submitted to the through the subpoena to Sestecom, and since the notice of disallowance is not yet final, we cannot yet discuss on the merits of the notice of disallowance.
Okay, I respect that. So, medyo na-worry lang ako dito sa purchase of information that amounted to 14 million for 11 days. And you have approved it.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, since it's not yet final,
Did you
it's
have
only
this, ito na lang po, hindi naman to mag-incriminate sa inyo, no? So, yung bang 14 million, may kasama mga equipments na binili?
ibang item po, Mr. Chair, ang equipments.
So, yung purchase of information is all about information or data that you have gathered that you have
OVP
approved sa COA.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Congressman Fernandez, if I just make
Yes,
point
yes,
of
sir.
clarification.
Deputy Speaker,
Yeah.
Jay.
May I just be informed as to what type of information was purchased?
Before you answer, Attorney Camora, let me first recognize the Honorable Joseph Stephen Paduano of Abang Lingkod and the Honorable Vice Chairman, Senior Vice Chairman Benvenido Abante. Please continue.
Mr. Chair, again, we cannot comment on it since it forms part of the merits of the case. But I would like to inform the body po that the entire ND is still subject to appeal to the adjudication of the commission proper. These are just the judgment of the auditors.
I do understand the position of Attorney Camora. My question is, what type of information? Kasi sabi po dito, purchase of information. Anong klaseng information yun? Is it...
Mr. Chair, I could only say that these are part of what is required under the joint circular, which is this information necessary for the formulation and implementation of programs, activities, and projects relevant to national security and peace and order.
Okay. I'm just curious kasi ngayon ako nakakita ng item na purchase of information. So anyway, I'm sorry, Congressman Fernandez, and I ate into your time.
Hindi kasi, Mr. Chairman, I agree with Congressman DS
Congressman
JJ.
Dan Fernandez.
I agree with him, no? Precisely because if you were going to compute 14 million divided mo sa 11, that is 1.2 million for the information that wanted to be purchased by the Office of the Vice President and was approved by the COA. And that worries me a lot, no? If this information entails, siguro kung mga 4 months yan or in 1 year yan, acceptable yan. But in a day, 1.2?
And if
Purchase of information a day?
Pwede po bang isang tanong lang?
Yes, sir.
Yung po bang 14 million na yun na information, sa isang tao lang po ba yun o maraming tao po yun?
Mr. Chair, hindi naman po yun sa isang tao lang.
Okay, just to... Ilan pong tao? Kung alam lang po ninyo.
I don't have the information right
At
now.
kung magkakaano po kada tao ang binigay para po sa purchase of information na yun? At kung saan po mga area?
Mr. Chair, details na po siya ng audit, so we could answer through if we are duly issued po subpoena to Sestecom.
Is there any motion? Do I hear any motion?
Yes, well, I move that ano ba? I move that we subpoenaed the Sestecom.
The detailed information.
All those documents pertaining to the purchase of information, the detailed information about it.
Is there any second to the motion?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Secondly, Mr. Chairman, this is the payment of reward. Sa payment of reward, you utilize 10 million. The Office of the Vice President utilized 10 million. And this was spent for 11 days. So almost $1 million a day for the reward, payment of reward, cash. Cash. Same thing, COA. How this 10 million was utilized daily by the Office of the Vice President. Can you kindly educate me on how this happened? A million a day for payment of cash reward. Was there any news about the cash reward that was given by the Office of the Vice President to any individuals, for that matter, pertaining to this payment of reward in cash by the Office of the Vice President?
Mr. Chair, again, it is
Again,
part of the
again, it will be a part
merits.
of the documents of the detail.
Although, Mr. Chair, we have indicated in the ND the reason why the rewards were disallowed. They were not able to satisfy us with the
Okay, I'm sorry.
documentary
I'm sorry,
requirements.
COA. You mean this 10 million is part of the disallowed by COA?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry about it. So sige, okay, so disallowed to. Okay, sige. So, have they given you some information on, or the detailed information about this payment of cash reward?
They have submitted compliance documents, Mr. Chair. But
Can
we
we
deemed it not sufficient.
Yeah, go ahead.
We deemed it not sufficient to answer the requirements of the joint circular.
Can we also, in that case, Mr. Chairman, may I move to subpoena also those documents pertaining to the payment of cash reward?
There is a motion by the Honorable Fernandez to subpoena duces, to issue subpoena duces tecum with respect to the payment of cash reward.
Ito naman pong
Is there any objection? Is there any second to the motion?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Punta naman po tayo sa rental of other incidental expenses relative to the maintenance of safe houses. How many safe houses have the Office of the Vice President have?
Mr. Chair, again, it falls part of the merits. However, may I just say,
Hindi naman
Now
merits
na-
naman yun, Gloria. Tinatanong ko ilan lang yung, para malaman namin. Kasi, of course, merong mga opisina ang Office of the Vice President sa buong Pilipinas. Are those offices that are being mentioned by the Office of the Vice President all over the country constitute also as the safe house of the OVP? Ayan, nakalagay dito. Meron kayong maintenance ng safe houses. Do they have like 10, 18, 20, 30, 40?
Mr. Chair, I do not have information right now on...
Can you kindly submit to us also? I move also to, kasi Mr. Chairman, before we move for that, kasi 16 million were, 16 million was spent for 11 days for the Office of the Vice President doon po sa mga safe houses for maintenance. Maintenance of the safe houses, 16 million was spent for 11 days for these safe houses. Kaya nga tinatanong ko po, ilan po yung safe houses na yon at bakit gumastos tayo ng 16 million for that purpose for 11 days?
At kung saan?
Yes, at kung saan yung mga safe houses na yun. So I move that we subpoena also those documents.
There's a motion by the Honorable Dan Fernandez to subpoena the information with respect to the safe houses of the Office of the Vice President. Is there a second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Yung po purchase of supplies which cost us 35 million for 11 days. Madam Gloria, for purchase of supplies, ano po ba itong mga supplies na to? Ito na po ba yung mga chairs, tables, desktop?
Mr. Chairs, part of it po yung table chairs that were disallowed. And some of it, naka-indicate po as reward, so it was also disallowed.
When you say disallow, were you able to get some information who supplied this purchase of different items? Do you have the information about the contractors and the suppliers?
Mr. Chair, based on the joint circular, these supplies, materials, and equipment for confidential operations are not done through regular procedures without compromising the information.
I know. What I'm trying to tell you is that wala namang bidding siya eh. Hindi naman siya
Yes, Mr.
nabibidding
Chair.
talaga ang confidential fund. What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Chairman, is have they submit the supplier or the contractor of those purchase items? Siyempre, may nag-purchase, may nag-supply niyan eh. Kilala nyo ba? Nagbinigay ba yung information about it?
We only received documentary evidence of payment, Mr.
Hindi
Chair.
mo sinasagot ang tanong, Gloria eh. Ang tinatanong ko kung merong sinabit na supplier saka contractor. Titingin ka pa sa likod. Huwag ka na tumingin sa likod. Wait. Ano bang position mo sa COA?
Attorney 5 po, Mr. Chair.
And what is your responsibility in the Commission on Audit?
Review of the audit po.
Ha?
Review of the audit.
Review of the audit. Ano ginagawa ng review of the audit?
Tinitingnan ko, Chair, yung...
So, nakikita mo na. Huwag ka nang tumingin sa likod. So, anong nakita mo doon? So, binigay sa iyo yung 35 million na purchase ng goods for 11 days. Siyempre, nakita mo, 35 million, 11 days. Wow! Ang bigat nito, 35 million, 11 days. Sino yung nag-supply nitong mga supply na to? Di ba? Yan ang trabaho mo eh. So,
yes.
sino yung mga supplier?
Mr. Chair, kasi...
Sino yung mga supplier na nakita mo?
sa merits na po kasi...
Oh my
Merits
goodness.
na po.
Ang point po ni
Merit.
Congressman Dan Fernandez, hindi ka ba
Hindi.
nagtaka? Yun po yung gusto niyang ipunto. Hindi po ba kayo nagtaka na nagkaroon ng purchase na worth 35 million in 11 days? Tama po ba yun?
Yes, oo. 35 million. Ako naman, kahit ako, mayor ako eh. Di ba nakita ko, nag-purchase ako ng ganito, 35 million in 11 days. Magugulat ako. Ano ba to? So ikaw, bilang ikaw yung parang COA, nakikita mo yan, nakita mo 35 million in 11 days. Supplies. Sino supplier nito? Di ba? Hindi maapekto ng merit nito. Tinatanong ko lang kung sino yung supplier. Now, kung binigay nila yung supply, binayaran nila, at nakita natin above board, so what's the problem? Okay. But unfortunately, magugulat ka 11 days, 35 million for purchase of supplies. Kaya tinatanong ko lamang, sino yung supplier?
Mr. Chair, hindi po ako makapagsabi ngayon ng...
Alam mo, Gloria, nagsisinungaling ka. Don't. Please. Sabihin mo lang kung sino yung supplier.
Sir, ang sinubmit lang po talaga nila is documentary evidence of payment. Hindi na po yung...
So wala yung supplier.
Opo,
Are you sure?
Opo.
Wala doon sa sinabit sa inyo?
Yes, Mr.
Because
Chair.
we
Yes.
moved for those documents a while ago.
Yes, Mr.
Kasi
Chair.
pag nakita namin meron doon, tatamaan ka dyan. Sige ka.
Mr. Chair, ang sinubmit po nila sa amin is yung documentary evidence of payment but wala po yung mga
Wala yung supplier.
suppliers.
Okay,
po
sige,
nila.
I will accept that momentarily. Okay, Mr. Chairman, punta po tayo dun sa provision of medical and food aid. 40 million for 11 days. Again, wala rin yung supplier dito?
Wala din po, Mr. Chair. Kaya part din po siya ng
Did you
disallowed
ask the Office of the Vice President to submit all the contractors and suppliers of all these supplies and the medical and food aid?
We asked them to explain po the...
Hindi, but did you ask for the supplier?
Normally, Chair, hindi po.
Why?
We just do our audit based on the requirements under the
Sige,
joint
I
circular.
will accept that. But Mr. Chairman, at least I think it is imperative for us to find out the contractor and suppliers of all those supplies that was purchased by the Office of the Vice President. Not because what do you call this? Medyo hindi natin pinupuntirya. Tama. Thank you for that word. Hindi natin pinupuntirya yung mga supplier and contractor. What we are after, Mr. Chairman, is the huge amount that is what's spent for 11 days. And this is something extraordinary. Hindi naman po siya ganun ka-simple that 40 million will be spent on medical and food aid, 11 days. Tapos yung supplies, 35 million for 11 days. Purchase of information, 14 million for 11 days. And ito pa, yung lastly, yung payment of incentives on traveling relative to the confidential operations. How does it work? Paano nagbabayad ng incentives or traveling? Can you kindly explain it to us? Because we spent 10 million in 11 days.
Mr. Chair, they gave an explanation on this po that those are actually rental of transport vehicles related to confidential activities po.
And accordingly, hindi tayo kumukuha ng mga receipt galing sa mga operators ng mga vehicles.
Mr. Chair, ang requirement lang po kasi is documentary evidence of payment.
Okay, thank you so much. With that,
persons that was mentioned and invited last hearing. Particularly yung SDO po, yung Gina Acosta, at yung Julieta Villa del Rey, which is the chief consultant. But as Chairman Acop mentioned, may show cause na daw to ngayon. Yung dalawa. Tama po ba? Yung dalawa mismo. Yung chief accountant at saka yung SDO. Tama?
Comsec?
Yes, Your Honor. There was a motion kanina. 5 po yung inisyuhan ng show cause orders, Your Honor. It was Attorney Zulaika Ortonio Sanchez, Miss Acosta, and Miss Julieta Villa del Rey.
Now, Mr. Chairman, just to ask this question. So we cannot, the OBP, the Office of the Vice President cannot answer queries from this representation of the members of this committee as of now? Who is the highest
Wala po kasing
official?
representative dito eh. Ang
Wala?
Office of the Vice, wala po.
Wala po ba? How about the spokesperson, which is Mr. Michael Pua?
As kanina po binanggit po ni Attorney Powa na siya po ay nandirito to represent DepEd.
You're here to represent the Fed, not the Office of the Vice President?
Mr. Chair.
Please, Attorney Powa.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair, that is correct. I am here again because I was part of the list of invitees as far as DepEd is concerned po.
How about sa OBP? You're not already part of the Office of the Vice President?
Wala po ako sa list ng invitees.
No, but hindi, yung official function mo ngayon.
I'm just a consultant po of
Consultant
the Office of the
ng-
Vice President. Of the Office of the Vice President.
Consultant for what?
A spokesperson po.
Spokesperson
Opo.
ng OBP?
Opo.
And you cannot answer queries from this committee with regards to the OBP confidential fund?
Mr. Chair, I'm afraid I'm really not authorized by the Vice President or anyone from the OVP to represent
But with regards to the DepEd, you can answer queries? You can answer queries?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So walang OBP dito?
Kanina po may nagpakita, but unfortunately, nawawala na po yata. Comsec.
Chairman, is it correct that certain Monsayak is present? Is he present?
Attorney Monsayak, are you present?
Mr. Chairman, can we ask him
Ayan
to
po.
approach the microphone?
Attorney Monsayak. Do you represent the OVP?
Good afternoon, Your Honors, Mr. Chair. I do not represent the OVP. I'm a private person already, Your Honor.
You are invited in today's hearing. Do you receive invitation? Did you receive invitation from this committee?
Yes, Your Honor. I was part of the invitation, the list of people invited for the DepEd query.
For the DepEd na naman?
Yes, Mr.
Comsec,
Chair.
is it correct that Mr. Monsayak is invited for the DepEd query? But of course,
Comsec.
Yes,
your
Your
part
Honor.
during this topic being discussed with regards to the OBP budget, you're still part of it, di ba? The time.
No, Your Honor. I left OVP at October 2023, and I'm not part in any way of the confidential funds issue, Your Honor.
Comsec.
Anyway, Mr. Chairman.
Your Honor, Attorney Reynold Monsayak was invited from the DepEd roster as Assistant Secretary for Procurement, Your Honor. Just to clarify.
Okay. Congressman Paduano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The Chair would like to recognize the Deputy Speaker, Jay Suarez. Please proceed to your interpellation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I just wanted to follow the line of questioning started by Congressman Dan Fernandez. Again, to the COA. Ma'am, magandang tanghali po sa inyo. Can you show the slide, please? Yeah. Ma'am, sinubmit po sa COA ang accomplishment report ng fiscal year 2022 sa confidential funds. Tama po ba ito?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Ayon sa accomplishment report, fully spent ang 125 million. Tama po ba ito?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Ito pong 125 million ay naka-breakdown into more specific items. Am I correct?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And to enumerate how the 125 million was spent, item 1, purchase of information. Item 2, payment of reward. Item 3, rental of other incidental expenses relative to the maintenance of safe houses. Item number 4, purchase of supplies. Item number 5, provision of medical and food aid. Item number 6, payment of incentives for traveling relative to confidential operations. Is this correct?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So can you confirm that this is the breakdown reflected in the accomplishment report printed on the screen right now?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yan po yung nasa utilization report.
Opo. Napansin ko lang po, ma'am, na kung titignan po natin yung mga amounts, very specific, no? Whole number po siya. 14, 10, 16, 35, 40, and 10. Walang butal, ma'am? Buong buo?
Mr.
Sakto
Chair,
lahat?
dito po sa accomplishment report nila, ganyan po, buo-buo.
Buo-buo, oo. Hindi ito estimate or budget, di ba? Hindi naman ito estimate or budget. Am I correct?
Yan na po yung utilized amount nila, Mr. Chair.
So what we're seeing is the liquidation actual cost. Ito po yung mga binili na medical, food aid, saktong 40 million po ang total cost and price. Am I correct?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Walang sukli, walang kulang. Tama po?
Mr. Chair, yan lang po yung contents ng utilization report po nila, Mr. Chair.
Sususugan ko lang po yung tanong ni Deputy Speaker. When you say utilize, ibig sabihin, nabili na, nagamit na. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Please continue.
Nakakapagtaka lang kasi syempre pag kunyari mamamalengke ka, tapos nagbigay ka ng 5,000 pesos na pamalengke, usually bumabalik kasi yung mga goods nandoon at may kasamang sukle. Dito lang, sakto lang yung amount, no? Talagang buo lang siya. Matanong ko lang ma'am, dito po sa mga napaggastosan, may kasama po ba itong mga resibo?
Mr. Chairman, po silang sinubmit na documentary evidence of payment.
Wala.
Documentary evidence of payment po.
Meron.
Meron po.
Okay, and these were already requested from your office to be submitted to the committee. Am I correct? Subpoena juice tecum kanina, no?
Hindi po yata yun kasama, Mr. Chair.
So therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that we request the same documents and I move that that said documents be submitted to the Committee on Good Government. The documents pertaining to the liquidation report with regards to item, ito na po lahat ng items siguro para mapag-aralan natin ang buo. From items A up to F, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Thank you very much. So dito po mga ma'am, sa mga nabili pong mga medical and food aid, 40 million. Alam niyo po ba kung anong klaseng medisina at pagkain ang binili?
Wala pong information, Mr. Chair.
Wala po kayong information, so hindi po sinamit ito?
Hindi po very detailed ang documentary evidence of payment.
So there are documentary evidence that were submitted. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Are you in possession of these documentary evidence right now?
Right now, Mr. Chair, wala po.
Can you expound on these documentary evidence that you are saying that were submitted, however lacking?
Mr. Chair, that is already parts of the merits of the case, so we can only comply po through subpoena.
Okay, I therefore move, Mr. Chair, for although meron na po tayong subpoena juice tecum para sa mga documents, no? Matanong ko lang, ma'am, kanina niyo pa binabanggit yung case. Ano pong kaso itong kanina niyo pa inuulit na nababanggit?
Mr. Chair, ano pa-clarify po?
Sabi niyo po kasi this is part of a case, this is part of a case. I think you mentioned it maybe 4 or 5 times. Can I just be informed of what case you are pertaining to?
Mr. Chair, yung notice of disallowance po kasi is an audit action of COA na hindi po final. So, they have an opportunity po to appeal the notice of disallowance. So, we cannot just divulge information about it po. Kumbaga, it's still ongoing. It's not yet final.
I understand that, but what is the case? You said there's a case. Ano yung kaso?
Mr. Chair,
Kasi when you say a case, usually it's a case filed in court, a case that's pertaining to a certain activity already in the judicial system. So what case are you pertaining to?
Mr. Chair, may I correct myself then that it is not a case, but the audit actions po of
Therefore, there's no
COA.
case, ma'am.
It is a case pero it is civil in nature po.
Oh, admin. So and anyway,
Mr. Chairman.
but in any case,
Yes, Congressman Paduano.
Mr. Chairman, I do disagree with the position of COA. Because, well, in fact, you were issued a subpoena to TICO with regards to the notice of disallowance, di ba? And you submitted it to the committee. Tama? Tama?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Oh, sinabit yung nga yung highlights eh. All we're asking is to justify this. We're not talking about the case. We're just talking about if indeed the ND that you have all the highlights of such yung ginawa nyo with regards to the budget of OBP is indeed tama. So what's stopping you from submitting all those attachments? Kasi nandito na nga eh. Di ba?
And before you answer, just to clarify, COA, let me read the provision under the Rules of Procedure Governing Inquiries in Aid of Legislation. Section 1, Power to Conduct Inquiries, Paragraph 2 provides that the filing or pendency of a case before any court, tribunal, or quasi-judicial or administrative body shall not stop or abate any inquiry conducted to carry out a legislative purpose. So kahit po yung mga sinatawag po nating subjudice, hindi po kami covered nun. So please answer COA.
Mr. Chair,
Please
may I
identify
allow-
yourself. Attorney
Erwin Lapitan.
Attorney
Mr. Chair.
Lapitan, please continue.
Yes, Mr. Chair, i-clarify ko lang po na ang ND po ay audit decision po. It's an audit decision by the auditor po. And the nature of a notice of disallowance is civil in nature po.
There is no case yet filed.
It's actually a case before the
No,
case ay...
you cannot prosecute. Kasi kayo recommendatory lang, just like this committee.
Yes, we agree, Mr. Chair,
Diba?
that we don't have the authority to
Also,
prosecute.
what's stopping you from giving us all those attachments?
Mr. Chair, it may affect...
Sandali.
Yes.
Tapusin ko ako. Chairman, what's stopping
Yes,
you
continue.
from giving all those attachments being requested by this committee? What will influence you?
Mr. Chair, it may affect the adjudication process by the commission proper. And
Sandali.
Yes, Mr.
Sandali. Isa-isahin po natin. Ano yung first reason nyo? Isa-isahin muna natin. It will affect the adjudication of the commission proper.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
In what manner?
Of course, Mr. Chair, the commission, the COA has a constitutional power to adjudicate. Therefore, any information that may affect its adjudication procedures or processes, and considering that the notice of disallowance is not yet final, then
But you know, inquiries in aid of legislation, kailangan namin dito mga dokumento. Now, eto, notice of disallowance, di ba? And din nyo, eto yung highlights. Oh, how can you justify to us if you cannot submit the attachments and the documents that gives the result of this notice of disallowance? Simply, it cannot influence
yes, Mr.
the commission proper.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will comply upon issuance of the subpoena.
Hindi, nag-issue na nga eh.
Yes.
Di ba, Mr. Chairman, nag-issue na nga?
Yes, we already...
Hindi, ang hindi ko lang accept yung reasoning nyo na it will affect the possible decision of the commission proper because well, in fact, sabi ko nga kaya nung nakaraan pa, it will take 6 months, di ba? Tama, 6 months, di ba? Before it goes through with commission proper, di ba?
Mr.
Kasi
Chair, the appeal process...
Kaya nga may appeal because of the appeal, di ba? Now, ang hindi ko maintindihan, but yung sasabihin, you will give that reason na you cannot submit because it will affect. Well, in fact, I talked to your chairman yesterday, and it is not a valid reason. And please don't push me to invite your chairman dito. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Before you
Mr.
continue,
Chair.
Deputy Speaker, the Chair would like to recognize the presence of the Honorable Edward V.P. Maceda of 4th District, Manila. Please continue, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. You mentioned, Attorney Lapitan kanina na there's a process of appeal, no? Has an appeal been made?
As of today, as of this date, Mr. Chair, we don't have information on whether the concerned agency appealed.
Okay, so in other words, wala pa. Are you gonna give a different answer, ma'am, or
Attorney Camora.
Mr. Chair, in addition to what my colleague has mentioned, usually po pag nag-appeal yung agency, of course it's the CP that makes a decision, so they ask the sectors, the office from where the NP
Ma'am, ano lang? My questions, just yes or no.
po.
Has an appeal been made? Yun lang naman po yung tanong ko. So,
As far as-
Umapila daw po ba sila?
As far
May
as
appeal na
info
po
po,
ba?
wala pa pong order sa amin na mag-comment on any appeal po.
okay, so in other words, wala pa rin.
On the part of ICWA, wala
Yeah,
pa po.
kasi wala pa rin kayong... Okay. So, going back lang po tayo dun sa inatalakay ko kanina. Kanina meron po nabanggit na... Can you show the slide, please? So, ito nabanggit po ito ni Congressman Fernandez kanina. Yung rental ng safe houses, again, saktong 16 million po ang total. COA, can you please inform us how many safe houses are we talking about?
Wala po akong information on the number of safe houses, Mr. Chair.
So, wait, okay, I'm trying to digest this. Walang number of safe houses?
Mr. Chair, since our audit is just based on the joint circular, we just determine based on what is required under the joint circular.
No, but
Mr. Chair.
you conducted an audit, correct? So, and
Yes.
in your audit, you should have determined the specifics and details of the items, correct?
Mr. Chair, it's not one of the items required under the joint circular. What is required is the documentary evidence of
Correct.
payment.
So, in the documentary evidence that was presented to you, the question is, how many safe houses?
It was not identified in the documentary evidence of payment. What was identified were the number of people who received the payment po.
So medyo suspicious po tong 16 million para sa safe houses. Kasi kayo na rin ang nagsabi na walang documentary evidence ang isinubmit patungkol sa mga detalye dito.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Based on your audit experience, are these red flags?
Mr. Chair, hindi pa ganun ka-extensive ang experience ko, but since these are confidential
Okay, anyway,
funds-
so kunyari mag-focus po tayo sa 35 million na purchase of supplies. Again, do you know the details of these supplies?
just what is included in the documentary evidence of payment, Mr.
And in the
Chair.
documentary evidence that was submitted, what were the specifics of these supplies?
There's no identification, Mr. Chair,
So basta bumili lang ng supplies.
based on the document, Mr.
Hindi
Chair.
sinabi kung ano, kung ilan, kung anong klase, kung saan gawa, basta bumili ng supplies.
It's not a requirement po under the joint circular, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
no, I mean, I'm asking you to say yes or no. Correct. So basta nagsubmit na sila, bumili kami ng supplies. Kasi, we need to thresh this out because if we want to come up with a law, it is important for us to find out where the loopholes in auditing are. Diba? Kasi dito nakikita natin, may mga specific amounts na malalaki, kaso lang based on documentary evidence, hindi supported kung paano ginastos. Hindi supported kung may resibo, hindi supported kung ilan. So I think, this is another piece of legislation that we can push forward, Mr. Chair, dahil ito naman pong ginagawa natin is in aid of legislation. Ito din po, balikan din po natin, ma'am, ito pong provisions ng medical supplies and food aid. Nabanggit po ba kung kanino po ibinigay o sino yung mga recipients itong food aid na po ito?
Mr. Chair, naka-identify yung names dun sa documentary evidence of payment, pero hindi po pwedeng mag-divulge ng mga pangalan.
Okay. But yung...
Mr. Chair, can I interject, please?
Please
In relation
continue.
to- relation to the
Vice,
questions of
Vice Chair
the-
Abante.
Ano nakalagay sa documentary evidence? Ano nakalagay doon? Nakalagay ba doon yung liquidation nila on, for example, yung 35 million na supplies? Is that properly liquidated in the documentary evidence?
Mr. Chair, yung liquidation report po nila is maraming documents po. The documentary evidence of payment is just that po, yung evidencing the payment. But the liquidation report, there is the liquidation report. There are these
Iba
other
yun, iba yun.
reports po.
Iba yung liquidation report. The
Yes,
documentary
Mr. Chair.
evidence.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So,
Supporting document.
ano pagkakaiba nun?
Yung liquidation report po is yung parang cover letter po, yung pinaka-liquidation voucher nila. Naka-specify po doon kung sino yung it is certified correct by kung sino man yung SDO, certified nung kanyang immediate supervisor, and then certified by the accounting that the
Oo,
supporting
certified.
documents are
Pero
complete.
I just would like to know, kanina, Deputy Speaker JJ asked about the 35 million supplies, no ha? Okay, and then he asked about kanino binigay yan? Ano nangyari dyan? So, doon ba sa liquidation report, nakalagay doon kung kanino binigay ang supplies na yan, kung ano yung mga supplies na yan, doon pa nakalagay sa liquidation report?
Sa liquidation report mismo, Mr. Chair, wala po doon kasi ito po yung general na the whole, pertaining to the whole amount. Yung documentary evidence of
How can
payment po
you-
yung details.
Okay, how can you properly audit if, for example, like, kulang-kulang ang nakalagay sa liquidation report? I mean, the thing is, it is the duty of the office of the Vice President to liquidate, correct? And
that is
in the
correct.
liquidation report, it is the duty of the Vice President to tell the COA kung saan nagamit yon, kung anong klaseng supply yon, kung magkano ang pagkakabili nun, at kung kanino ibinigay yon. And that should be in the audit report, am I right?
Mr. Chair, wala pong audit report pagdating sa confidential fund. We just issue the audit actions after we audit the liquidation report.
This is very interesting, Mr. Chair. Why don't you have an audit report?
Mr. Chair, we just, based on the joint circular, andun po yung functions ng ICFAO. Andito lang po is issue an AOMNS or ND address to the HOA, the head of agency, Mr. Chair. And then keep records of all those issued na audit actions po. And then prepare.
What are you referring to? Are you referring to the? It says you're saying that there is no audit report. Am I right?
Yes, Mr. Chair. There's no audit report, but there are audit actions that are issued.
There are audit action.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So where do you put the audit actions as reported? What do you call that?
The audit actions, Mr. Chair, are the audit observation memorandum, the notice of suspension, and the notice of disallowance.
Mr. Chair, is that submitted to this committee? Not yet, no? So I'd like to make a motion that we subpoena the documents, the audit of action, di ba? And the liquidation report to be submitted here in this committee. So I move, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded, hearing none. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Ma'am,
Thank you.
sir, may tatanong lang po ako. Pwede po makita uli yung slide kanina? Yung slide. Ma'am, pakibaba po, pakibaba. Pakibaba po. Yung kaninang itemize. Yung kaninang itemize po. Yan, pakilakihan po ng konti. Ma'am, yung dito po sa purchase of supplies worth 35 million, wala po kayong idea kung ano yung item nito?
Kung ano lang po yung nasa documentary evidence of payment.
Which is, ano po?
Which is yung names po nung recipient.
Hindi, pero yung supplies, wala.
Wala po, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Hindi po ba kayo nagtaka na yung nilagay po nilang 35 million dito ay eksakto?
Mr. Chair,
Napakalaki po nitong amount tapos eksakto pong 35 million. Wala man lamang pong butal like 34,950,000 or 31,450,000. Hindi po ba kayo nagtaka na bumili ng supplies tapos eksakto pong 35 million?
Mr. Chair, if you will look at the notice of disallowance po, na-extract na po namin yung part ng supplies which are part of the reward. Kaya sa notice of disallowance, hindi na po siya ganyan na buo-buong amount.
So ano pong ibig sabihin nyo? Pakipaliwanag po ninyo.
Based on the after po ng AOM po kasi nag-submit sila ng mga compliance, so may mga na-explain na portion, so kaya sa notice of disallowance po, it's not exactly the same as kung ano yung nasa utilization report nila.
So magkaiba po yung nakalagay sa utilization at saka dun sa
notice of disallowance po, Mr. Chair.
So kaya
Kasi,
kaya po ninyo fin-lockdown.
Opo, kaya po
Dahil merong medyo may problema. Tama po ba?
may
Okay.
in-account na po
Yun po
namin.
tinatanong ko. Tama po ba? Kaya po ninyo pin-lockdown dahil meron pong problema kayong nakita.
Yes, Mr.
At isa
Chair.
po sa problema, dahil nga po dun sa amount, parang medyo hindi po nagtutugma
Yes,
sa
Mr.
ebidensya po na kanilang sinumite. Tama po ba?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Sa susunod, yung provision of medical and food aid, eksakto rin ito, 40 million. So, hindi rin po ba kayo nagtaka? Bakit eksakto pong pagbili ng medical at saka food aid?
Again, Mr. Chair,
Again,
binis
so-
namin sa documentary evidence of payment, so hindi po exactly ganyan. na
Hindi
40
so,
million.
ibig sabihin, iba yung utilization na nilalagay nila dito, iba rin po yung pinipresenta sa inyong ebidensya. Tama po ba?
Sa,
Or documentary evidence. Tama po ba?
Sa pagkakategorize po nila, Mr. Chair.
So, magkaiba po.
Yes, Mr.
At kaya po ninyo fin-lockdown dahil may disparity. Tama po
yes,
ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So posible,
Mr. Chair, I just would like to ask, are we referring to the
35 million and 40
confidential,
million.
the complete confidential fund of the Office of the Vice President?
Ito po.
Are we referring on that? Ibig sabihin, these are the 2 years na since the
Ito
Vice
po
President was President. Diba?
ito po for the period covering December 21 to 31 of the confidential fund. Kaya po, kasi po, nakita po natin very glaring po, sa letter D o item number 4, purchase of supplies, eksakto, 35 million. At dun sa provision of medical and food aid, 40 million. Eksakto rin. So medyo nakakapagtaka lang po dahil wala pong kabutal-butal at eksaktong-eksakto po yung supplies. Okay, so yun lang po. I will now recognize the...
Mr. Chair,
Ay.
unfortunately, I'm not done with my questions. If I can just complete my line of questioning.
Okay, please,
para lang-
with the indulgence of Congresswoman Luis Tro, the Deputy Speaker will
With,
just continue
of course,
with his
Kong
interpretation.
Jinky, if I may continue. Thank you. I just want to highlight COA. Are you familiar with COA rules regarding disbursements of confidential funds and intelligence funds? Rule 4.15?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Of the
Yeah.
Joint Circular, Mr. Chair.
Yes, yeah. Nakasulat po dun sa 4.15.3 that the details and supporting documents of transactions that are classified are in the custody of the agency and kept in the vault, which may be inspected by the ICFAU if the circumstances so demand. Am I correct?
4.15, Mr. Chair.
Point 3, yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This pertains to classified information. This pertains po to intelligence fund.
Yeah. So maybe under these circumstances, this would fall under those circumstances wherein we can demand the documents of the transactions.
Mr. Chair, when it comes to confidential funds, the documents are submitted to the ICFAO.
Okay, fantastic. So pakisabit na lang po sa amin at nag-subpoena na naman po kami. No? Ma'am, balikan lang po natin yung line of questioning ko kanina. Yeah, can we go back to the slide, please, Comsec? Oo. Thank you. No. Doon sa taas yan. Okay. Dito po, based sa inyong audit, 10 areas ito sa Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Ma'am, yung isang slide. Yung ginawa po yung surveillance activities, would you know which areas were under surveillance or conducted surveillance in? Was it in Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao?
Mr. Chair, ang information lang po namin is yung nasa utilization report. Yung sa documentary evidence of payment po, hindi naman din po identified yung...
So wala rin klarong supporting documents doon sa surveillance activities na kinonduct. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Kasi nakakapagtaka lang, no, ma'am, di ba? So kung titingnan din po natin yung amount at saka yung timing, kailan po ba ito? December 20 to 31. So didn't you find it quite out of the ordinary that people were being placed under surveillance and people were being under surveillance during Christmas season?
We just conducted the audit based on the requirements under the joint
Kasi
circular.
nakakapagtaka, no, itong mga activities na to gagawin sa panahon ng Pasko. Di bilang mga auditors, I think that would definitely call your attention on when actually these activities were conducted. Am I correct?
Yun nga po, based lang po talaga sa joint circular yung...
Okay. Thank you very much. Vice Chairman Jay, those are all my questions. So maraming salamat
Vice
po.
Chairman Jay, can I interject lang po before you recognize the next interpolator?
Thank you, DSJJ Suarez. Honorable
Mabilis lang
Paduano.
po. Ma'am, you're always telling that it is based on the GMC 2015-01, di ba? Tama? Yung sinasabi mo lagi,
Tama
di ba?
po. Tama
Based
po,
on the
Mr. Chair.
GMC.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Oh, now, ito 6.2.3. Ito kasi, Mr. Chairman, hindi pwede nilang sabihin na based on the requirements because dito po, elaborated lahat, di ba? From 6.2.3.1 up to 6.2.3.6, tama?
Tama
Elaborated
po, Mr.
siya.
Chair.
But there is still a provision 6.2.3.7. Tama?
Yes, Mr.
Oh,
Chair.
ano nga? Please read.
Other supporting documents that FAO deems necessary for the proper evaluation of liquidation documents
Oh,
submitted.
ibig sabihin nun, lahat ng mga dokumento which is necessary should be submitted to you. Tama?
Tama po, Mr.
O,
Chair.
depende sa evaluation nyo kung kailangan dokumento na to.
Tama po,
Tama?
Mr.
And
Chair.
the question of DJ Suarez is all about the surveillance being made by the OVP during Christmas season, di ba?
Yes, Mr.
O,
Chair.
di kailangan yung dokumento dito, ng mga detalye nito, di ba? Sa item na yan. Tama?
Yes, Mr.
Oh.
Chair.
Kaya hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin na based on the GMC. Kasi the GMC 6.2.3.7 provision states that all other documents related to the investigation or to the audit. Di ba? Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh. Kaya yung lahat na doon na walang butal, na sinabi kanina ni Chairman, nakapagtataka, di ba? So, dapat, and I know, siguro pinasabit nyo rin sila yung detalye nun.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, yun nga eh. Kaya hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin na based on the GMC only. Because the GMC also states 6.2.3.7 all other related documents.
Yes,
Tama?
Mr. Chair.
Oh, di at least nakalinawan tayo.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We will now proceed to the next interpellator, the Honorable Jervil Jinky Luistro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Attorney Camora, the
Yes, Mr.
questions
Chair.
are directed to you. Before I proceed to the questions, I just want to have a clarification first about the confidential fund that were given to the OVP. Am I correct? We have 125 million for the last quarter of 2022. The same was utilized from December 20 to 31 of 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And on the succeeding year, that is 2023, the OVP was allocated also a total confidential fund equivalent to 500 million. Do you confirm?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And out of the 500 million, attorney, how much was utilized and how much was unutilized?
Mr. Chair, for 2023, they utilized for the first 3 quarters, which is 125 times 3, and for the 4th quarter, they did not cash advance the amount. So may naiwan pong 125 million.
In other words, for clarification of the committee, I wish to state for the record that when we speak of confidential fund of the Office of the Vice President, we're talking about 125 million spent from December 20 to 31 of 2022. Another 125 million spent on the first quarter of 2023. Another 125 million spent on the second quarter of 2023. And another 125 million spent on the third quarter of 2023. This is a total, if I am correct, Attorney Camora, 500 million. Do you confirm?
That is correct, Madam.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair.
I wish to go back to my question during the last hearing, Attorney. I ask you, paano po ba natin i-distinguish ang confidential fund from regular fund? This time, I want a more comprehensive answer, and please try to laymanize it because I want this to be understood by the Filipino people. As a matter of fact, I am raising this question so the Filipino people will understand ano po ang pagkakaiba ng confidential fund from regular fund. Let us discuss first about the purpose.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ang purpose po ng confidential and intelligence funds are for confidential and or intelligence activities. While yung sa regular funds po, it is for the attainment of programs, activities, and projects other than confidential fund and or intelligence activities. Ito po yung regular na perang ginagamit ng mga government agencies.
And if you will agree with me, Attorney, if I would say that when we speak of confidential fund, it has something to do with the national security, peace and order surveillance activities. Am I correct?
That is correct po, Madam Chair.
And when we speak of regular funds, any other funds except something which has to do about security, peace and order.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Now let's go to the procurement. Ano po ang pagkakaiba ng confidential fund from regular fund in terms of procurement?
Mr. Chair, in terms of procurement, the regular funds must follow the laws on procurement, which is now the RA 9184 as amended po. As to confidential and intelligence funds, to avoid compromising the confidential matters, it usually does not undergo procurement.
And do you agree that we have this joint circular which regulate the utilization of confidential fund?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Can you share with us what is that joint circular?
It is the joint circular issued by the Commission on Audit, the Department of Budget and Management, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, the Governance Commission for GOCCs, and the Department of National Defense.
Kanina, attorney, you mentioned about Republic Act number 9184. This is the procurement law as amended, tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And you would agree with me if I would say, under the procurement law, before you proceed to procurement, there has to be a posting.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There has to be an invitation to bid.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There has to be a pre-qualifying process for the bidders.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There has to be a bidding.
Yes, Mr.
There
Chair.
has to be a post-qualifying.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And all of this will happen before we issue the notice to proceed.
Yes, Mr.
And if
Chair.
I may add, we also require the parties to execute a contract. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And all these formalities are not present when we speak about confidential fund, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That is for the reason that we wish to protect matters concerning national security, peace and order, and surveillance. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now we proceed to number 3, about liquidation. Ano pong pagkakaiba ng confidential fund from regular fund?
Liquidation po for confidential intelligence funds is provided under the joint circular 2015-01. For regular funds, it is COA circular number 97-002.
Can we laymanize it, Attorney Camora? Kapag po ba tayo'y magli-liquidate ng confidential fund, anong dokumento ang nire-require natin from the agency?
The requirements are all indicated po sa, na-mention po kanina, 4.8 of the joint circular.
In substance, would you agree with me that what we are requiring if it is a confidential fund, one is financial plan, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
2 is the accomplishment report, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And 3 is the certification of the head of the agency, is that
yes,
correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Whereas when we speak about the liquidation of regular fund, what requirements do we ask from the agency?
These are all under 97-002.
I understand. If I would say that under the regular fund, you are requiring the MOA or the contract, am I correct? I understand that there is a long list of documents, but I'm trying to emphasize only the substantial documents which should not be absent in the compliance of liquidation requirements.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There has to be a MOA or a contract if it is a regular fund. Second, there has to be a receipt.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There has to be an invoice.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. May I request the Secretariat to please flash the first slide. This slide summarizes the distinction between confidential fund and regular fund. In confidential fund, we have the Joint Circular 01, which regulates the same. For regular fund, we have the procurement law, otherwise known as RA 9184 as amended. As to purpose, confidential fund is for the purpose of peace and order and surveillance activities to promote national interest. Regular fund are other purposes other than those mentioned in the confidential fund. For procurement, there has to be posting and bidding, requirements which are not necessary for confidential fund. And for liquidation, in confidential fund, it is enough that there is a financial plan, an accomplishment report, and a certification of the head of agency. Whereas in regular fund, there has to be a receipt, an invoice, a copy of the MOA, a copy of the contract. Do you agree, Attorney?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. I will cite some illustration for the better understanding of the Filipino people. I will be using confidential fund. Ang bibilhin ko, supplies of materials and equipments. Kailangan ko po bang mag-post at mag-bid?
No, Mr. Chair.
Kailangan po ba na ang maging supplier nito is the lowest bidder?
No, Mr. Chair.
No. But if I will be using a regular fund, I will be purchasing supplies of materials and equipment. Of course, I need to go through the process of posting and bidding, and then I need to choose the lowest bidder. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then, Attorney, I will be renting a safe house for surveillance activities. So this is a confidential fund.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kailangan ko po bang mag-posting at mag-bidding?
No, Mr. Chair.
No. Diretso na sa rental ng safe house for surveillance. Correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Do I still have to evaluate, invite, to be able to choose the lowest cost of rental for the surveillance?
No need, Mr. Chair.
No need, because this is a confidential fund. I will be buying a car for surveillance activities. Kailangan ko po bang mag-posting and bidding?
No, Mr. Chair.
Do I need to choose the lowest bidder?
No, Mr. Chair.
But if I will be using a regular fund, I need to go through the process of posting, bidding, and come up with the lowest bidder. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
If I will be procuring an equipment for surveillance activities, kailangan po bang posting at bidding?
No, Mr. Chair.
No. Do I need to choose the lowest bidder?
No, Mr. Chair.
But if I will be utilizing a regular fund, these requirements are all necessary. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Now we proceed to confidential fund. I remember during the last hearing, tinanong po ito ni Honorable Marcoleta. He was saying that the other agencies and even the other LGUs have confidential fund as well. Tama po, Attorney?
Tama po, Mr.
You remember
Chair.
that?
Yes, Mr.
He
Chair.
made a manifestation that even the other agencies of the government and the LGUs have confidential fund. And I wish to share the second slide to our committee. That is the basis of the confidential fund of the LGU. And tantamount to saying that it is true that even the LGUs have confidential fund. This is DILG Memorandum Circular 2022-118 and the JMC 2015-01. Tama po ba ito, Attorney Camora?
Tama po, Madam. Mr. Chair.
And you will agree with me also that under Section 16 of the Local Government Code, kasama po sa mandate ng LGU is to promote and maintain peace and order. I think the lawyers will agree. The lawyers from the DILG. I understand you're from COA.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So let me share this information that under Section 16 of the Local Government Code, bahagi po ng mandate ng LGUs, Local Government Unit, is to promote and maintain peace and order. And this justifies kung bakit mayroong confidential fund ang mga LGUs. Tama po ba, Attorney?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now let's go to the mandate of the OVP. Kasama po ba sa mandato ng OVP ang promotion ng peace and order, conduct of surveillance activity, and national security?
May I ask po yung OVP team, mas knowledgeable po sila sa mandates.
OVP team, please. You are from COA also,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
but
May I
you
allow
are...
to speak na po? May I allow to speak na po?
Go ahead.
Can you please enlighten us, what office are you representing, why Attorney Camora refer you as the OVP team? Because I understand you're also from COA.
I'm the audit team leader of the Office of the Vice Presidents for the audit of the regular funds.
Audit team leader of the OVP with respect to regular funds. But I'm talking about confidential funds.
Yes, Madam. Mr.
Do you think you are in the proper position to answer this question? This is
the
about
question-
confidential funds.
But the question is all about the mandate of the OVP.
All right. What is the mandate of the OVP?
Based on the notes to a financial statement of the AR, Annual Audit Report, the OBP, as the second highest office in the land committed to the service of the nation, OBP performs executive, ceremonial, and advocacy functions collaborating with stakeholders and organizations in both public and private sectors to develop and promote programs that uplift the lives of the Filipino people. That's the mandate of the
Does it in any way mention about the peace and order, surveillance activity, and national security?
Based on what I've said
The
po,
question is answerable only by yes or no.
no po.
It does not.
Yes, Madam.
So you confirm that matters concerning peace and order, national security and surveillance is not part of the mandate of the OVP. Do you confirm that?
Mr. Chair, yes po, based on the mandate provided.
Yes. And why do you think the OVP was given confidential fund, considering that it is not part of the mandate to promote peace and order?
I think I'm not the right person to answer the question because I think it may course to the Department of Budget and Management because they're the one who provided the confidential fund in 2022.
I understand. But let me state for the record that nowhere in the law, not even in the Constitution, provide that the OVP has the mandate of promoting and maintaining peace and order, conducting surveillance activity, and even matters concerning national security. That is for the record, Mr. Chair. Now, talking about confidential fund, may we please flash the third slide? Kanina po pinag-usapan natin that under Section 16 of the Local Government Code, ang mandato ng LGU is to promote peace and order. And that justifies kung bakit ang mga LGUs ay mayroong confidential fund. Now, I wish to share this slide showing the LGUs which have the huge or the biggest number of confidential fund. This is representing year 2022. Davao City has 460 million. Cebu City has 7.38 million. The City of Manila has 120 million. Makati City has 240 million. And Quezon City has 75 million. Nakakapagtaka lang po kung bakit nalampasan pa ng Davao ang City of Manila, ang Makati, ang Quezon City. For Makati, Davao almost doubled the confidential fund. For City of Manila, it almost tripled the confidential fund. Ang Cebu City po was way left behind because it is only 7.38. So I just want to state for the record the huge disparity of the confidential fund of the Davao City as compared with the other LGUs. We have on the screen Cebu City, 7.38, City of Manila, 120 million, Makati City, 240 million, Quezon City, 75 million, while Davao, it skyrocketed to 460 million. May we request the Secretariat to please flash the fourth slide. This is the history of confidential fund of Davao City. 2016, it is 144 million. 2017, it is 294. 2018, it's 420. 2019, it is 460. 2019 up to 2022, it is 460 million. I just wish to state for the record, Mr. Chair, that while we acknowledge that the LGU is entitled to confidential fund because under Section 16 of the Local Government Code, bahagi po ng mandato nila is the promotion of peace and order. I just wish to state for the record that during this time, 2018 to 2022, the mayor of Davao City, I believe, is no less than the vice president. And I wish to state for the record as well that the confidential fund that we're discussing about the OVP last quarter of 2022 and the first 3 quarters of 2023, the one in disposal is no less than our vice president as well. I wish to express I wish to lament that it seems to us that the confidential fund is being used comfortably. We have to emphasize that it is addressing a very important reason, and that is the promotion of peace and order, conduct of surveillance activities, including matters concerning national security. And if this is the case, Mr. Chair, I believe that the COA has to be very strict concerning the very loose, the very light, and the very few requirements which are being imposed in procurement and even liquidation of confidential funds. What I wish to point out, Mr. Chair, maluwag tayo sa confidential fund because we give value to matters concerning peace and order and national security. However, Mr. Chair, I observed na ito pong kaluagan na ito ay nagiging dahilan kung bakit ang COA ngayon are issuing the notice of disallowance and even this Congress is prompted to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation. I wish to manifest my observation that the irregularities which have been observed in the utilization of confidential fund in the office of the Vice President should be checked as well with respect to the utilization of confidential fund of the VAU City during those time that the mayor is no less than our Vice President. I submit, Mr. Chair.